Hi, how's it going everyone? Back again with another video, and as you can tell by the title above, we're doing something a little different today. As you can tell, gotta rep the merch, of course. As you can tell by the title, today we are going to be reacting, I guess, or we're going to be listening, we're going to be doing our first reactions to the new Neck Deep album, All Distortions Are Intentional. Cool name. So, obviously, if you're a fan of Neck Deep, you kind of know what's going on here. It's all good. The album came out last weekend. It's actually been out for like 3 or 4 days at this point, and I haven't listened to it because I was so insistent on wanting to do this, wanting to record my first reaction to the album. Because even if I don't upload this, which I might not, because it might be a bit dead just watching me just vaguely react to songs that I'm going to listen to multiple times anyway, and kind of, you know, it's just a first listen, right? I might hate it, I might love it, who knows, that's the fun part. We're going to be here for like 40 minutes at least, so let's get into it, shall we? Let's get into it. I'm really excited actually, I'm a little nervous as well because I really don't know what to expect. This isn't like listening to just some random album, this is the new Neck Deep album. But let's just get into it. Let's start with the first song, Sonderland. Oh yeah, and of course this is the concept album, so Sonderland is where it's all based, it's where the characters live, and yeah, let's just get into it. Just want to say really quickly, that first part where it went dun 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 dun, it felt like a descent into hell. What was that about?
It's a place that I don't understand, a place we know as Sonderland. I call it home. These strange times that we live in will slowly eat you alive if you don't fit in. Welcome to my dark despair. I am wondering if it surely gets better than this.
Okay. Okay, so we're about a minute and 20 in so far. Pretty interesting so far. I didn't mention before, the word Sonderland comes from Wonderland and also from Sonder, which is a word that basically just means something along the lines of every individual person is living a life, or the realization that every single person is living a life as complex and unique as yours, and you know, we're all just kind of going our own way, trying to do our own thing and whatever. So that's quite interesting. I don't have a lot to say about this so far. I feel like I need to pause and like say something, otherwise it's just gonna be me sitting here. But yeah, it sounds okay so far. I can't really make out what he's actually saying, but yeah. Again, first reaction. I'm not listening to headphones or anything, so when I come back to this, it should be a little easier to make sense of. Let's continue.
I don't wanna sit and talk about politics or social sciences in contradiction. Not when I'm staring down the edge of the precipice with grim ambition. Welcome to my dark despair, everyone.
That came out of nowhere. That was a big just, there's the music. So yeah, I guess this song so far is kind of about, well, I mean, as he says, they'll eat you alive or something if you don't fit in. So I guess it's all just about, you know, he's living in this city, he doesn't feel like he belongs anywhere. It's just a waste of time. I don't know.
Is a nightmare.
Okay, so that's the first song. Again, like, I don't really know what to say about it because on the first listen it's kind of just taking it in and trying to just hear it, right? But it sounded good, you know. A lot has been said about the lead singer Ben, his vocals. I think he sounds fine. I think his voice has obviously improved a lot, maybe not in the way people want, because it's not as, you know, I can barely sing and I'm just trying to get the words out and you know, sort of. So yeah, that was the first song. Usually what I do when I listen to albums is I'll I'll give each song like a rating out of 10, and then I'll kind of decide on a final score based off of that. But for today, I'm not gonna do that. That was the first song. It was okay. I don't know. It's hard to know, right? It's hard to really say anything about it, and this isn't what I usually do. I usually just listen all the way through. Apparently the transition into the next song, which is Fall, is good. So we'll just see, you know, we'll just... Ooh. Ooh, okay. No, yeah, that that was quite nice. So as mentioned, this is my favorite of the singles that have been released so far, so, you know, I do quite enjoy this song. This song's... yeah. I haven't listened to all the singles too many times. I Revolve and Sick Joke I only listened to once, and I don't really remember anything about them, so that should be good. That's something more to experience.
This city's beating. This city's beating like a drum. Catch me falling. Catch me falling pretty hard.
Really like that part. I don't know why, just catch me, I'm falling pretty hard. Yeah, okay. Just sounds really smooth, you know, it just sounds really, I don't know, I just love the sound of it. I don't know. I don't know how to really react to either. I feel like I should be going, oh yeah, what a banger, but I'm just kind of sitting here enjoying it, you know, so. I really like the sound of that part there, just how it starts like distorting and like falling into it. Well, look at that! Falling into... Wow. Anyway, let's get back to it. That's what it sounded like. This outro as well. This outro is so good. I really love this part where he's basically just speaking, you know, I mean, you'll hear it, but... So that was Fall. Definitely my favorite song so far of the two. So yeah, really like that song. Obviously, you know, sounds like he's fallen in love. Obviously, that's the entire point. The chorus, really good hook. Really just like the sound of it. The little riff at the beginning, you know, do. It's really simple, but I mean that's the genre, isn't it? It's simple, but it just works. Yeah, I don't know. Really good sounding song. Love the outro. I think that's one of the most unique things they've made as a song. Just that like spoken word passage almost. I think that part's really cool, really stand out. So yeah, good song, and obviously on to the next song, which is another one we've already heard. So yeah, of the first 5 songs, we've already heard 3 of them. So this next one's called Lowlife, obviously. Love that part. Love that part.
You're perfect, perfectly clean. I'm drinking coffee on a trampoline.
As one does, you know. Love a good cup on a trampoline. Also, I think this was actually the first song they wrote for this album, and it was meant to be very like silly, and obviously in the In Bloom music video, you can see a purple tangerine, and you know, I don't think they planned for that, but hey, it kind of connected, didn't it? One thing actually, the guitar in this song, this sort of like, how does it go? Or the dun 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 dun, you know, that part. It kind of reminds me of that One Direction song, you know, the What Makes You Beautiful one, you know, that, I don't even remember how it goes, but it's like, Yeah, I don't know. Have a listen to it. It kind of sounds similar to that. Because I listen to One Direction avidly, of course. So that's a nice hook. I like that hook. The lyrics, one people take issue with, obviously, you know, you're a normie. It's a bit odd, isn't it? But I don't mind it, because I think, obviously, with the song, it's meant to be in character, right? But as a lyric just itself, I think it's just kind of funny. I don't know, I mean, I think I wrote a review on Album of the Year for this single, and I basically just said, I think a lot of the lyrics are quite funny, and kind of interesting. And yeah, with that chorus there, there's a really cool, I described it as like a really cool dissonance between the guitars going lower and heavier and Ben's voice going higher. So it's sort of like, you know, it's sort of doing that. Okay, back to it. It's very bouncy, isn't it? It's very just, ugh. I really love that last chorus there where he changes up the lines and he says, you know, so what, I'm a lowlife. I really like that part. It just sounds really big, you know? Just, oh, right in your face. So that was Lowlife. Decent song. I think in context of the album so far, I do like it more than I did previously. Not that I disliked it, but it just is a very odd song in a way. You know, it does kind of stand out. I can see why they maybe chose this as a single, because it is quite, I don't know, just stand out. I don't know what the song's really about. I guess given the music video, you know, they're watching the TV show and Neck Deep are on the TV show. They're watching like an interview, and obviously the King of the Morning part is in there. So I guess, I don't know. This show's shit. Let's just go outside. I don't know. Anyway, on to the next song. Telling Stories. Like I said, apparently it's one of the better songs. One of the best songs. So this is the first song besides the first song that we haven't heard. Never mind, there's an ad. I don't have premium. Not bad. Okay, not bad. Decent little hook there. Like some of those lines. I guess the real Neck Deep album was the friends we made along the way. That's just... Okay, so that was Telling Stories. So I guess that song's about, you know, meeting someone and kind of just, I don't know, telling them stories. And I guess he's saying, hey, don't waste time telling me this. Let's just, you know, forget about the past and all those stories. Let's just do something else, maybe. I have no idea, to be honest. There is a line in there, I think, that relates to the next song, and I'm noticing a lot of that, which I really like, is how the lyrics sort of, you know, one lyric here in this song will show up again here, and it'll kind of bridge those two songs. Yeah, so he said something about crying yourself to sleep, and he said another thing about it's not the main sort of hook there, I guess. It's not the things you know, it's the friends you make. And then the next song's called When You Know. So maybe it is the things you know. Let's move on to the next one, which was another single, but
Sunshine, we don't belong here. We got no flowers to grow. Oh, we could fall right into nothing. Open arms like we're infinite. You got nothing left to lose, and you've been crying on that.
so that part right there, obviously the little pre-chorus. I like that part a lot, obviously that line. Yeah, really like the sound of that pre-chorus, you know. I've already forgotten how it goes. You know, the we can fall right into nothing. I'm not going to try to sing it. Open arms like we're infinite. You know, I like that. There's a good line there.
It feels so good when you know, when you know. And in that moment stay for forever and a day or 3 months. And I'm thinking about more than just the next week. Oh, God, I hate when you're leaving. It just feels so good when you want me, baby. I'll go where you go. Sunshine, we don't belong here. We got no flowers to grow. When you know.
So that was When You Know. Good song, good song. Definitely one of the better singles I think they released. Yeah, nice song. Good times all around, good vibes. So now we're on to Quarry, which is the halfway point. We're only halfway done, play out. And apparently this song is bad. Apparently it's like the worst song they've ever made. So let's have a listen, shall we? That's just... Wait a second. Isn't that just the fall riff, like so slowed down? Ooh. Ooh. This sounds very sinister for some reason.
I'm gone off into outer space for a minute just to get away. That's S-T-R-E-S next to S. That's the root of it all, and that's stress. That's one to let go.
Well, that was odd, wasn't it? Yeah, I've heard some people say it's sort of like SoundCloud emo rap or something. It's. I think the song's sort of like Juice WRLD inspired. Not that I've ever listened to him, but I have a friend who does like his stuff. Didn't mind it, to be honest. I think Ben has the voice for something like that, to be honest. I think he actually sounded kind of normal on it, and you can actually hear a lot of his accent. A lot of people complain that he sounds very American when he's singing, when obviously the band's from Wales. But yeah, you can hear a lot of his accent there. You can hear a lot of the inflection and just the way he's speaking. You can tell it sounds like a UK song, sort of. So anyway, that was Quarry. Didn't mind it, to be honest. I thought it was kind of trippy, you know, sort of psychedelic, but stripped back slightly as well, I guess. Yeah. But yeah, I do feel like the opening riff, it did sound like a slowed down sort of lowered version of the fall, the du-du-du. But who knows? Maybe it was intentional.
And to be completely honest, I'd rather be happily dead or asleep. Sit back and listen, close your eyes if you feel it, 'cause I'm questioning everything. It's affecting all my decisions. Sometimes I wonder if life is some sick joke.
I've only listened to this song once before. Obviously, it was like the last single they released, just a few days after the previous single. Calm down, lads. There's only so many songs you can release. But yeah, I'm liking this one a lot more. Like just on a second listen straight away, I'm liking the sound of this a lot more. Sounds really. I mean, the entire album sounds really clean. You know, the production and all that. Not that I know anything about it, but you know, if it sounds good, if it just sounds good to your ears, you know, Yeah, anyway.
I can't tell no difference in pleasure and pain, and it makes me sick, sick joke like life is shoving its fingers to the back of my throat. It's some,
Ooh.
I wonder if life is some sick joke. Will I wake up? I saw you in the mirror and switch up my rhythm. Am I chasing a dream or am I trying to need a runner? Am I still here? 'Cause I can't tell. Sometimes I wonder if life is.
So that was Sick Joke. Didn't really have much to say about that. I liked a lot of the lyrics in that song, you know. The chorus is good, you know. I don't know what really to say. The thing is, like, I've seen a lot of people who, you know, have been kind of disappointed by the album, but for me personally, like, there isn't really anything to dislike, you know. They sound great, and I don't know, like, I'm enjoying it. It's not like the best thing I've ever heard, but I am enjoying it, you know. It is definitely grabbing my attention. You know, even the Peace and the Panic, which I'm a big fan of, that didn't really do much for me on first listen. I think so far this is doing more for me than that did on first listen. I'm not sure where this is going to rank, obviously. But yeah, so far I don't see anything that's really dislikable about it or unlikable. I don't see how you couldn't just sit here and listen to it, you know. I don't see how it's unlistenable or whatever. So we're on to What Took You So Long, which is one of the best songs, so I hear. Let's give it a listen, shall we? Immediately, not what I was expecting. I thought it was going to be, you know, a banger.
What took you so long? Your lasting impression answered questions once unknown. I am not searching anymore, and it was not me until I discovered you for the first time. I think I'm feeling like somebody. I found some bliss in our insignificance. You make me significant. I love your disregard for anyone and everything. Disruption of ourselves. This intelligence is an epiphany, and it was not me.
That's not a line. I don't know, that stood out to me. It definitely wasn't what I was expecting. I was expecting it to go a bit harder, but I like the sound of it, you know?
I was not me until I discovered you.
That's a neat line. That's all I've got to say. Back to it.
Was not me until I discovered you for the first time. I think I'm feeling like somebody.
So again, you know, nothing bad, not a bad song by any means. It's just, I mean, again, first impressions, you know, it's just the first reaction. But yeah, I don't know, it's a nice song, it's a nice sounding song, some sweet lyrics about, you know, obviously, you know, feeling like you've waited your entire life for this person to show up, and this person makes you the person you always thought you were, but you didn't act that way, I guess, maybe? I don't know. I get what he's saying, though. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I really don't know what to say. Let's move on to the next song. Empty House.
I hope I feel it soon. I hope this day ends and I can start anew. Do we just need space? I'm sitting in this empty house, just trying to feel much better.
Whoa, I felt like, I don't know if you saw my reaction there, I was ready to just, but and then it just, nothing happens. That was really weird. I was expecting like a massive explosion, and then it's just carrying on. That was strange.
Just trying to make this better now. I'm just trying to make this better now.
Yeah, okay, that's what I was waiting for. I like that. It sounds good. They were just, you know, tickling the old... Yep, okay.
The surface only proves that I'm not good and I'm not good without you.
Ooh, that's a nice line.
They consume me, perpetuate my mood.
Yo, don't that be the truth though? You know, you're going online, you're seeing all these people just say the most stupid shit, and it impacts you even though you don't care about what they're saying. It does get to you for some reason. Like me, when someone says neck deep are bad, I just want to kill them. No, I'm kidding. But, yeah. Hashtag relatable.
What is it gonna take just to feel okay?
Can we just talk about that part? That little... Why do I like that so much? That sounds so good. Oh, I really like that part.
I'm sitting in this empty house, just trying to feel much better now. I'm just trying to feel much better now. No other way when I love you so much.
That was a great song. That's actually one of my favorites so far. I really love that song. I guess that song's about, I mean, empty house obviously. He's sitting in an empty house, I guess. They're going through some sort of trouble relationship-wise, and maybe he's having doubts. Maybe he, by the end of the song, you know, he's saying, well, what was he saying? He was saying, you know, I hope I feel it soon. That's what he's saying. So maybe the spark's gone, and he hopes it comes back because he's not good without her. I don't know. But that was a really great song. I really loved it. Like I said, that little that little part there, that was so infectious. Just as soon as I heard it, I was just like, oh, yeah, okay. So the next song is, we're almost done. This is weird. It feels like it's gone past pretty quickly, even though I've been recording for literally an hour. I hope you've had fun just looking at me going for the last like half an hour or so. Anyway, moving on to the next song, Little Dove. Immediately, this is very different for sure. I think Peace and the Panic had the same problem, some would say, maybe, where the first half of the album felt very pop punk. You know, it felt very like a continuation from Life's Not to Get You, especially Motion Sickness, just both, you know, just lyrically and thematically, but also just the sound, you know, sonically. It felt like a continuation. It felt like if they released an album or an EP in between Life's Not to Get You and Peace and the Panic, Motion Sickness feels like it would be on that. You know, like it's like the halfway point between the two things. You know, it sort of bridges it. So yeah, and with this album as well, the first half feels a lot more punk. And even though that song Empty House, it was quite punk, there was a, you know, a big there was a big, you know, feel to it. There's a big punch to it. It does feel like the second half has been a little more somber. But then again, it's been kind of back and forth, you know, it's been like every second track, because you got Quarry, and then you got Sick Joke, and then you got Empty House 2 tracks later. So it has been balancing it pretty well, and yeah, I don't know, I'm enjoying this so far. I do enjoy this. I mean, what a surprise. I'm liking the new Neck Deep album. It's not really that surprising, is it?
Let go. You say it all the time. You say it, but you don't know. This modern living will slowly kill us or bring us together. It's all that anybody talks about.
Yeah, this one feels kind of dreamy. I guess a lot of the albums felt that way, but just the way the chord shift there, where it went do, do, it went kind of like down, you know, what do you call that? It's like a diminished chord or something. I don't know. I don't play guitar. But it just had that feel to it, where it just sort of like, it's trying to send you into a sort of dream, sort of, I guess. I don't know, it sounds very different, obviously. And as well, actually, yeah, it sounds sort of like waves almost, you know. And the song, it seems like it's talking about they're on an island or there's an island far away. It kind of feels like someone's just on an island playing an acoustic guitar and just singing, and there's like, you know, the waves, and it's very atmospheric, I suppose.
All that it expects of me, and I'll be diving down a depth into this old quarry. And lately I've been scrolling through pictures of other people. It's all that anybody talks about.
So I guess they're separated at this point. Maybe they've moved away from each other, or maybe, yeah, I don't know, maybe they're just not in the same place for some reason. That's kind of what it feels like. It kind of feels like they're far away, but they're still connected, you know. Yeah, I like this. This is nice. Obviously, it's not, you know, life's not to get you. Oh, life's not out to get you. But I don't know. But okay. You know, it's not banger after banger, but there is, you know, there is a story here, and there is something to grab onto, even if it's not just tune after tune after tune, I should say. So that was Little Dove. Nice little song, obviously. Yeah, quite nice. Obviously, that's I guess the acoustic track of the album. Yeah, I don't know. It's an interesting song, and I think it kind of relates to this next song, which is called I Revolve. I Revolve, parentheses, around you, parentheses. That's a parentheses, right? Whatever. Bracket. You can call it that if you want. Yeah, I don't know. That song, obviously, just from the title alone, you can kind of tell he's a planet just revolving around the sun that lights his world, which is her, the girl. Obviously, I mean, what else would it be? He's not an actual planet, is he? Like, come on, that's a bit out there. Sorry, I just had to stop recording for a little second there, because I was just checking on the webcam feed, and it looked very jittery, it looked very slow. So I've been recording for like an hour, so I just wanted to make sure it was all fine. So, onto the penultimate song, which they actually released as a single. So yeah, what was I just saying? He's a planet, she's the sun, he's revolving around her, and they're, you know, even though in that sense they're far away, they're connected through that, you know, being planets and all. I've only heard this song once as well, I think. So let's give it a listen. Let's see how good this one is.
We've come so far, so far from where we were before, and we were colliding stars on a
Oh, so they're stars. They're not actually planets in the sun. Okay. Guess my analysis on that was a bit wrong.
that night set straight to earth then. And if Carl Sagan was right, pale blue dot in the night, then what we've got is every...
The only thing I know about Carl Sagan, right? The only thing I know about that man is that, you know, Back to the Future, you know the game, Back to the Future, the game. In the game, by Telltale Games, Doc Brown, when they're back in like 1930 whatever, or 1950 whatever, he pretends to be Carl Sagan for some reason. He says he's Carl Sagan. I guess he looks like him, right? That was my first introduction to Carl Sagan. Whenever I hear Carl Sagan, I just think, oh. So, back to the song.
We can fight lonely planets and feel like humans. I revolve around you. You made me step to my demons, and you think that I would be better by
Yeah, this song's really good so far. I'm liking this a lot more. On the first listen, it did nothing for me, but already, a second listen, I'm already enjoying this a lot more. These guys, these Neck Deep guys, they just get it, don't they? They just get music. They just know how to make it. I think they even said this was the most stress-free recording of an album they've done, and it does show. This is a very smooth and very, even though they talk about certain issues, it just feels like a very easy album to listen to, you know? Which I guess could be a criticism, you know, if they're talking about like mental health and talking about struggles of that sort, maybe, I mean, I'm just talking shit here, but playing devil's advocate, maybe it feels like they're kind of scanning over that stuff a little and sort of, I don't know, not really presenting a solution to it. But I guess there isn't really a solution to it, you know? When you have depression, you just have depression. That's how it is, and it doesn't really go away for however long. It's always kind of there, and it sort of comes out, and you know what I mean. Anyway, back to it. This song's been a lot better so far than last time. I really like just the sound of it. And from memory, the bridge, I really love that part. That part was weird. Like, yeah, I remember even on the first time, the rhythm there, it kind of like, the drum rhythm there, it kind of, what do I call it, it's sort of syncopated. It kind of doesn't come in when you think it does, and it feels like the song's just gone wrong. I don't know. Yeah, that was really good. That was a lot better than I remember. Yeah, that bridge part, that little. Oh, I'm not even gonna try. Yeah, I really like the sound of that. Just the duh. Yeah. Anyway, we've arrived at the final song. We're done. We're basically done with the new Neck Deep album. Isn't it weird? You know, you spend 3 years waiting for the last one. To be fair, I only started listening to Neck Deep in 2017, but you know, you wait 3 years. You finally get here, it's over in 40 minutes, and then you're done. Like, sure, you may like the songs and keep them and listen to them just in rotation or whatever, but then that's it, it's done. All those weeks and hours spent writing the music, and it's done in like an hour. It's weird, isn't it? On to the final song, Pushing Daisies. Wonder what this one will be about. Death and that, probably. This one sounds really good so far. Just that little what was that? That little riff. That's really good. That just there's just something about it. Just really just makes you feel a certain way, you know? This feels like the last song on an album, so I gotta applaud them for that. Neck Deep always do fantastic last songs, you know, Rock Bottom, Where Do We Go When We Go, those two songs do such a good job of just wrapping everything up that the album was already talking about, so yeah. This is a good song so far. So far, what a surprise, like I said, I like this album a lot actually. I can tell this is gonna grow on me a lot. I think I already like it more than Wishful Thinking, actually. Not that I dislike Wishful Thinking, but, you know, half of the album's really great, you know, like Crushing Grief, Staircase Wit, Growing Pains, Say What You Want, and Sweet Nothings are all really great songs, and every song on the album, those ones especially, are elevated by the guitar riff, you know, the lead guitar riff from former member Lloyd. His guitar work on that album especially is some of their best, because everything else is so middling that just elevates everything, and I think that really makes the album stand out a lot. So his guitar work on that album is really stand out. And again, some of my favorite riffs, some of my favorite songs are those 6 songs. But that's not what we're talking about.
I'm so sure, I'm so clear. Oh no, you can't fight it. You can't fight love. You can't go back. And it all comes back to you. It's a new start. It's the next step. So if you're asking me, remember we all ended up pushing daisies, and that's the way it is. It's just
What the hell?
What just happened there? Oh my goodness. We just went from like... okay.
fuck society, fuck your politics, fuck yourself, and fuck the way it is.
Whoa. Jeez, that was very aggressive. Oh, okay. Okay, yeah, anyway. Damn. That was a really strong end. That was a really great song to end on. I really loved that ending, especially just how aggressive it was. But that last part where it just starts winding down, for some reason, as soon as I heard that, I started thinking of like a ship just sinking for some reason. Like it's just going down. But yeah, that's a really great song. You know, obviously that whole message, you know, we're all gonna die anyway. Why waste time about this and that? We're all gonna be pushing daisies. So yeah, so that was the album. I said basically nothing, but I don't know what you were expecting. I really enjoyed it, actually. I was sort of... I wasn't like apprehensive or cautious or anything, but I was not sure where it would land ranking wise. Obviously I can't say now. I'm probably going to end up listening to the album again later tonight and just... I'll come back to this. I'll come back and I'll record a little extra part just going over my feelings on the album. I really enjoyed that. Honestly, that last song, maybe just because it's the last song, that last song was probably my favorite because it was just so in your face, and that shift, that change, that came out of nowhere, and I was like, whoa, where are we? Where'd we just teleport to? Obviously some songs are stronger than others, but honestly, for me personally, this album's great. I really enjoyed every song on this album. I can't say I hated or disliked any of them. So there you go. I'm impressed. I'm really impressed. Neck Deep. And that's one of the things I love about Neck Deep, you know, every album they seem to change their sound. You know, a lot of people have been clamoring for, oh, make life's not out to get you again. But they don't want to do that, clearly. And you can tell, I mean I can tell from just listening to this, they sound very committed to this sound. I heard a lot of people saying, oh, Ben just sounds bored on a lot of these songs, and I didn't get any of that. I felt like he was giving a lot of really passionate performances. Especially on that last song, you can kind of tell. From first impressions, my favorite songs were probably Fall, I Revolve actually. I enjoyed that one a lot. Empty House as well, and Pushing Daisies. I think those 4 were the most standout of the ones that I hadn't heard. I think I actually liked the second half more, to be honest. You know, Quarry, Sick Joke, What Took You So Long, Empty House, Little Dove, I Revolve, and Pushing Daisies. I think I actually enjoyed the back half of this more. Hello again. I don't know what I'm wearing, but this haircut, it's not doing it for me. But this is probably worse. Anyway, I'm back again. I've listened to the album one more time. That's 3 times in total. So I wrote down some notes. So I'm gonna read you some of them. So you'll notice, if you care, I lowered the score on Album of the Year. I lowered it from an 81 to a 79. Sub 80. Ooh, that's gotta hurt. It's gonna hurt. I actually refreshed the page, and my score actually lowered the user score from 59 to 58, so I felt kind of bad about that. Anyway, so Sonderland. I keep saying it like Sunderland, like, oh, it's just the place in England. It's Sonderland, I suppose. So I gave that one an 8 out of 10. Obviously, I said in the video I like to rate the songs out of 10. The only thing I wrote was something about the song gives off an uneasy vibe, like something is wrong. And then I literally wrote okay. So what I mean there is some of the chord changes, you know how it starts with the da da da, you know, it sort of descends. So I guess that's sort of why it gives off this sort of menacing vibe, this sort of like unsafe vibe maybe. He doesn't really feel safe in that world, in that city. He feels kind of like everyone's against him, I suppose is the point. As an intro track, it's pretty good. I don't know. I don't have a lot to say about that one in particular, but I do like it. And the transition into fall, which is very good. That one's a 9 out of 10. All I said was, still bangs, such a smooth song. That's all I said. I probably said all I needed to say on that in the actual official video. Yeah, I don't know, I just really love the sound of it. I love the chorus, super catchy, the nai, that little thing gets stuck in your ear. It gets stuck in your head. You know what I'm saying. Get out of here. And yeah, the bridge, the outro, I just think it's a really well put together song. I think it sounds really good. And yeah, nice riff. I don't know. What can you really say? It's one of my favorite songs on the album for sure. And then we have Lowlife, which I still quite like. What do I say about it? Oh, okay. Bit of analysis here actually. Really like how they keep building the song. Little breakdown, bass enters, just more and more notes on the lead guitar. So what I mean there is, if you listen to the song, it just starts on the drum beat, you know, the that. Okay, good one. And then all of a sudden the guitar enters at one point, and it's just a few notes. It's just like you know what I mean? Maybe you know what I mean. And then later on, the guitar properly enters, and it's like you know what I mean. So the song just kind of keeps building, and then at some point, you know, the bass enters, and then it all just kicks off. And I also have written here, the final chorus goes so hard. I really love that part. You know, the so what, I'm a low life. I really love that part. Just yeah. Okay. So I gave that one an 8 out of 10 as well. Rating songs is hard, you know. I always feel like I'm rating them either too high, but then like, how do you really quantify what a 3 out of 10 song is? You know, like how do you give a number to just a 3-minute song that you didn't like? It's like, well, I don't know. It's a flawed system for sure. And if you just break it down to like out of 5 as well, you'll end up just relying on like 3.5, and then that equals a 7. Because yeah, and then it's really not any different to just doing it out of 10. But maybe I should change it to out of 5 because that's more specific, and then it's more easier to just, I don't know, pick a number, whatever. And then we have, controversial maybe, my actual least favorite song on the album, Telling Stories. I gave this a 6 out of 10. I still kind of like it, but it just doesn't do anything for me. Even just through like the second chorus, I was just sitting there like, it just doesn't really hit for me personally. I don't know why. It doesn't sound bad. I don't think there's anything wrong with it. I just feel like it's a pretty unremarkable song. You know, even just the intro, like the riff, the or whatever, that sounded like Darude Sandstorm. How did I do that? How did I manage that? Okay, anyway. But I do like the message. I think I have that written here. Like the message, but doesn't do a lot for me. I basically just said that in a lot longer time than I needed to. So. But yeah, I think I probably mentioned in the video, I really like the message of, you know, dressing up your life to be something it isn't, in the form of telling stories and convincing people that your life is perfect, and you know, you kind of romanticize it and glamorize it. When in reality, this guy's saying, hey, you know, shut up about that bullshit. I don't care. Stop telling me stories about your life. And I assume the characters in that are kind of like the friends he has, or just people he knows in the city. And I guess he's saying to this girl, you know, let's not waste each other's time telling stories, because we've wasted enough time as it is. Then we have When You Know, which I gave an 8 out of 10. It was close. If I could give it an 8.5, I would. All I say is just a feel-good, vibey song, which is basically what I say in the video. I think this song is, I guess this song is kind of like the in bloom of the album. You know, if any one song was going to be like a big hit, it was going to blow up for them, it'd probably be this one. And that's a weird thing about this album, is that this album doesn't really have that big song, you know. Even Wishful Thinking had Growing Pains, I suppose, or maybe Candor. And then Life's Not To Get You obviously had December, and then In Bloom, On Peace and the Panic. This album doesn't really have that one track that stands out that everyone will just hear and go kind of like, oh, okay, this is a good song. Maybe I'll check out the rest of the band, or the rest of the album. Which is weird, isn't it? You know, like one song has lots of hits and lots of listens, and then it's a single usually, and then no one listens to the rest of the album. You know, like on Peace and the Panic, the most viewed song, or the most listened to song, is In Bloom, and that has 37 or so million, which is a lot. And then you've got like Heavy Lies, and you've got like Critical Mistake, and they're on like 5 mil. I mean, 5 mil is still a lot, to be fair. But you'd think that if you really like In Bloom, you would listen to the entire album, because it's like, hey, I like this one song, here's an entire album full of songs like that are even better than In Bloom. So yeah, 8 out of 10. Next up is Quarry, which I gave a 7 out of 10. I actually like this song a lot. I'm not gonna lie to you. It sounds, what did I even say? Surprisingly good. Ben sounds great on it, and it's pretty experimental by their standards, and I agree with what I said. Yeah, go on. Go on, lad. It's just a really, like I probably say in the video, it's a really trippy song. It's quite, as I say, psychedelic, but it is also grounded in some way. It's not full, you know, weird dream nonsense. It does feel quite grounded. And obviously the opening riff, you know, the slow downfall riff, I really love that part. I think that's really great. I don't know, it's quite cool actually, because you have the high note probably of the entire album in When You Know, and then you've got the lowest note in Quarry, and it's just sort of, and that just kind of shows how, you know, depression and your own health can kind of just fluctuate at any moment, and you can just go from really high to really low for no reason. And I just really like the sound of it. I don't know, like I say, Ben sounds great on it. I think he sounds really natural. I just think it's a really cool song. I don't know. Yeah. Next up we have Sick Joke, which I gave 8 out of 10. Not much to say about it, but I think it has some of the best lyrics on the album, especially that part where he says, right, so the lyric where he says, am I chasing a dream or am I caught in the middle of it? I really like that song, and I really like that song. I really like that line. Just that whole idea of, oh, things are not going horribly for once. Is this even real life? Or is this just a joke? And life's, you know, it's life playing a joke on me. It's just a sick joke. That's the name of the song. Okay. Next up is What Took You So Long? And I gave this an 8 out of 10 as well. I didn't really care for this one initially. Kind of grew on me. I just really like the sound of it. Same thing here, like a lot of the lyrics. If this song came out back in like, in a very specific period of my life, this probably would have been my favorite song of the album. As I say on the video, in the video, you know, the song's kind of about meeting someone that kind of completes you and makes you feel like, oh, you know, this is what I've been waiting my entire life for, and now I've got it, and I'm ready to go. It's a nice song. It sounds really good. It's got a really it's got a lot of nice, really instrumental moments, I think. Next up is Empty House, which you'll remember I really liked in the video, especially that little riff. I gave this one 8 out of 10 as well. So I say the riff is still great, especially after that first proper chorus. So when the chorus comes in and, you know, they go, oh, I'm sitting in this empty house, and then after that it goes into the chorus and it kind of extends and it plays again. And I say here, really like how the guitar starts it, the drums enter, and then the guitar resumes. So you'll notice the song sort of goes, you know what I mean. So I kind of like that part. I don't know, I like things like that. It's not the most complex thing ever, it's pretty simple, but I like the sound of it. I like how the guitar starts it, then it stops, and then the drum does a hit, you know, he hits it, and then the guitar resumes. I like that. And just the entire aesthetic of the song, it just hits, is what I've said here. It just hits. It doesn't miss. And yeah, just the opening, that little dun 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 dun, just, I don't know, just the entire sound, the whole vibe, I just really like it. It's quite laid back. The chorus is kind of chill, I guess. Like his voice, he's kind of, he's not really going for it, I guess. He's kind of holding back a little, but I like it. It's kind of meant to be restrained, and yeah. Okay. Next up is Little Dove, which is also, I gave a 6 out of 10. Now this is probably also my least favorite song. I still don't really care for it that much. It is better than I remember it being, and it just sounds really sweet, and I like a lot of the lyrics. I like a lot of they're separated, like they're far away, and they have to kind of communicate in a different way, and it's kind of even says one line about how this modern living will slowly kill us, so it's like if we can't physically see each other, you know, we won't last, I guess. And maybe at some point they take a break, and then coming into the next song. Yeah. So then we have I Revolve Around You, and I gave this one a 10 out of 10. I loved this song this time around. This is the best song on the album, in my opinion, by far. This song is incredible. It sounds so great. I guess in the story they've come together and they've reunited and they're back together again and their love's stronger than ever, or something. Best song on the album. The bridge straight into that final chorus is gold. Love that part so much. Just, oh, it sounds so good. It sounds so good. And I love the whole space vibe, you know, the lyrics about planets and space. So yeah, not a whole lot to say about that one, I guess, but I do really like that. That is my favorite song on the album now. Next up, or well, last, final song. Yeah, Pushing Daisies. So I gave this one a 9 out of 10. I like this one a lot on the first listen, as you'll be able to tell from that reaction. I was gonna try and explain it, but I couldn't think of the song, and I remembered it now. The song sounds, and it immediately reminded me of the song More Than a Feeling. You know that one? I'm not gonna try and sing. It reminded me of that one. It had the same sort of vibe, just sounded similar, sounded very, as I say here, it sounds very nostalgic and significant. You know, it feels really important. It just carries a lot of weight, and it conveys all the messages well, I think. And I think as a final song, it's really great. And the outro, that shift, it still hits. That part is still really great. Really love that part. The shift in sound, for me at least, it came out of nowhere at the time, and the song kind of lulls you in and kind of like, it's calm, it's fine, and then it's like, it's not fine. And then we have some overall thoughts. So I say here, overall thoughts, a good album. I can't believe that it was 40 minutes. It went past so quick. It flows incredibly well, feels cohesive and tight, and it's a very easygoing time. It is in some sense in one ear and then out the other. It still lacks the staying power, which disappoints me. I wish I loved it, but it's certainly got some great songs. One of those weird albums where I enjoy listening to the songs isolated as opposed to the entire album. And that's it, basically. That's all I've got to say about it. Further elaborating on that, I guess, just if a song came on randomly and it was from this album, I'd probably enjoy it more than listening to the entire album and getting to that song. I don't know if that makes sense. I guess that's not a good thing, but that's kind of how I described it. Not a great album, I suppose. I don't know. It's got a lot of really great songs, you know, but there are also some songs that just don't do a lot for me, and they kind of underwhelm in some regard, and they just don't really hit in the same way that you'd want it to, I guess. So thanks for watching if you did. I'll do a little outro here just in case this is the end of the video, because I don't really know where this is going to fit in. So assuming this is the end of the video, thanks for watching. This got really long, and I wasn't going to upload it, but as of as of recording this now, I've gotten the video to a point where I'm actually pretty happy about it, and I'm like, hey, let's upload this. Sure, let's go for it. But knowing my luck, I'll upload the video, and it'll immediately get taken down because there's a lot of music in it, and it's just kind of playing, and I'm not really doing anything, so that could happen. But, you know, we'll see. But if that does happen, then hey, you're not really missing much, I guess. Like I said in the video, maybe you might have cut it out for time. I really just wanted to record my reactions just to have them, because, you know, imagine having your reactions to Life's Not To Get You, or any of the Nick Deep albums, or any album that's really significant to you in any way. It'd be really interesting to have those just raw, genuine first reactions, and then be able to look back on them years later and see how your opinion has changed, or just to see how you reacted to it with the faces you made. You know, something as small as that can be quite interesting, at least to me. So thanks for watching if you did. If you're watching all the way to the end here, let me know what your favorite song is. Let me know if you liked the album, if you didn't like it. Obviously there's a lot of different opinions going around. Have a good one. This took longer than it was supposed to, but yeah, it's me we're talking about. So yeah.